that ASMR, sister. Oh, it's happening.
That's right. It's the sound of a tall boy can of Diet Coke crackling.
I brought the Twin Towers to West Hollywood.
This is corrective. We needed this win. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I went into the liquor store that I got held up at gunpoint. And I
also
was like,
corrective.
Reclaiming my time there, reclaiming my serenity in WeHo, and I brought with me 2 relics of that area.
The thing about the tall boy is I love the size of it, but really I only need to drink a mini's worth of Diet Coke.
Oh no, I mean this is insane.
This is
like
egregious. This is a Trenta.
But you know what?
I want the cold, thick grip of a fat cock's worth of Diet Coke.
It's a Liam Neeson cock of Diet Coke. And I'm fine with that. And I'm going to drink the whole goddamn thing.
I know you are.
And I'm going to be jacked the fuck to the gods. Laura and I had a corrective experience in LA last night. We went to iconic lesbian bar in Silver Lake.
I went to my first lesbian bar.
Your first?
Yeah, I've never
been
to a lesbian bar. I said, I'm home.
You're home. You were home.
I know. I felt
We went with friend of the pod, Alex Delisle. And she was sort of our lesbian liaison into
the wild world of dyke culture.
And like, you know, soft lit. They had Indigo Girls playing in the bathroom. It was a moment.
Yeah, fresh flowers. The floral arrangements were on fucking point.
That was
impressive.
My eyes kept going towards the floral arrangements, and I was like, God damn it, these are fresh. These went to the florist district.
You went downtown.
You went downtown at 6 a.m., bought a bunch of flowers, and those are like as fresh as the day.
I love it when a restaurant does a fresh floral arrangement.
Yeah, because most of them are fake or old.
Or not there.
No.
Or they do like reeds.
It was a great place. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I was like, I went in and said, don't worry, girls. I'm a cis man, but I'm a gay man. But I'm not threatening to any of you.
I think sometimes when it's really bumping, I've heard they get mad about men being there. And they hit their quota. Yeah.
I get it.
And I love that. Because there are no spaces really where you can just be surrounded by women and much less surrounded by lesbians in a bar.
Yeah, I felt welcome. I didn't feel like anyone batted an eyelash at me, which as should be expected. But I do think if it were bumping, I would be like, I'll see my way out.
You knew not to step out of line in that environment.
Mm-hmm. I had to go to the bathroom about 1,000 times.
It's okay.
But it was great.
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 experience. I would love LA again.
Yeah, it gave me hope.
It was nice to be at I haven't been to a gay bar during Pride.
Is it still Pride?
Yeah. New York Pride this weekend, doll.
Oh, wow, doll.
Madonna.
Wow.
Madonna going back to her roots.
Okay, Diva.
But this is the last week. Pride's over after this week.
Okay. Yeah. Don't we think it's been long enough?
Speaking like a true lady of DC,
this episode. Wait, Real Housewives drama. Kelly Killer and Ben Simone has called off her wedding 4 days before she was supposed to go walk down the aisle with her fiance Scott.
She was a runaway bride. She teased Scott in the Ultimate Girls Trip as being a part owner of the Rangers or something, hockey team.
Oh yeah.
This is very Kelly Kaloran to do this.
She's saying that he refused to sign a prenup.
Huh. Okay.
Which, who's richer? She has a reported net worth of $10 million.
That ain't bad.
That's good. I'd want to protect that.
Yeah, that's a good... Oh, she got her dress at Kleinfeld.
Oh, wow. She said also, I'm like, are you a fan of the pod? She said she wanted a sexy and unique wedding dress.
Okay.
That's subcoded.
So Scott Littner He looks like a nice guy, nice enough
He's
guy.
a wealth advisor.
So he's probably like a hedge fund guy, right? Okay. Scott proposed to her literally in Wisconsin, near where I was raised. I was raised in Rockport, Illinois. And
She's a Rockford peach.
Yeah. Oh my God, she is.
I mean, Rockport and Rockford are not the same thing.
Oh, right.
But in my mind, they are. Okay.
So what's the deal? So she was like, okay.
So was he like...
Is he a scammer?
Is he richer than she is? If you have if you don't sign a prenup...
That usually means you're looking for money.
What's his net worth? I'm Googling. Also, I'm like, he's single now.
Yeah, get on that. That's probably going to be harder to find because he's not famous. I'd say if you're a wealth manager in New York, you're probably worth a few mil.
Yeah, I'm getting the sense that he probably wasn't worth as much as she is. She said, I didn't come this far in life to start making bad financial decisions now. She's 56. She has a huge point.
She has 2 daughters. She's a single mom. She is she does real estate.
Sign the nup up.
Doesn't she make a shit ton of money in real estate?
Probably.
Plus, she got that probably a nice fat divorce settlement from Gilles Ben-Simon.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got a lot to protect.
I think she's sitting pretty.
Yeah. So if I had 2 kids, I'd be like, fuck you now.
I love her.
Me too.
I love that for her.
Cold feet. Scott, you fucked up.
Yeah.
You better sign that with blood now to make up for it.
Side note, I started watching the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader show.
Cowboys. Do you love it?
The Cowboys.
Isn't it stunning?
America's sweethearts.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's gorgeous.
Isn't it Friday Night Lightsy?
It is, but to me, it's more drop dead gorgeous-y.
And a little showgirls.
It's very tongue-in-cheek without meaning to be. Like, I just am obsessed with it. I'm kind of saving it so that I can watch it while I'm traveling to, like, decompress.
It's definitely like a good crossing the
lay.
ocean.
Yeah.
Lay flat.
Mm-hmm.
Watch. I would definitely save it like a spider. But it's hard too because you want to just go through it once you start watching.
How many episodes?
There's 7 episodes.
Okay, that's a good amount. I
But
think I'm on
long.
3 now. Yeah.
They're like long, hour long. You know what I mean?
I love it. I'm still in shock that these women are willing to do this job for $25,000.
Basically.
And they love it. Like, so far, what I've seen, everyone's like, I don't know if the tides shift, but they're like, this is the best years of my life have been spent doing this job.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're also not going to say, I think they're too conditioned to not say anything bad.
It's like a cult, kind of.
Oh, for sure it's a cult. I think it's definitely like there's brainwashing.
Absolute brainwash.
I mean, the fact that there's a like accomplished orthodontist, 31-year-old
Anisha.
She's like a major orthodontist, and that she's
a major orthodontist.
She's devoted her fucking life.
No, it's crazy.
To like every time, like she's doing choreo in between procedures.
I think that it is dangerous to tell women that
anything.
Yeah, it's dangerous to tell women that a job or there's such a mindset, I think, a lot of times that it's like a privilege to do something. And I think that is a dangerous conditioning to grow up thinking like, oh, I don't need to get paid for this thing because it's a privilege to like.
Well, I think Charlotte Jones, who's the daughter of Jerry Jones, I think she's a rotten person. I can say that. Now watching the whole thing, I think has a dark soul.
Mm-hmm.
She's really beating that most home, I think, out of more than Kelly and Judy. Like, this is a privilege.
Yeah.
You are...
Because I wonder how much Kelly and Judy get paid. They must get paid like 6 figures.
Well, yeah, Kelly's.
That's their whole life.
They've both been at it since 1991.
Yeah, that's their like 9 to 5 all day, every day.
And they've turned it into what it is. So it's like they're like, they've made it so lucrative, but they're all reaping the rewards of these like starved, you know,
like show horses.
And I really think that these cheerleaders should be getting paid 6 figures.
At the very least, they should be making $80K. Because that's I think
they're athletes.
Whatever the global, so every year there's like, in order to just live like a happy life, like one needs like, it used to be 75K. I think now it's 80 to 85K, but that's like just base salary where it covers your needs, and then you can like have some spending cash. But like they should at least make that amount each.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think like the WNBA. I mean, wasn't there the whole big thing that Caitlin Clark only makes like
75K?
But they should be able to have like sponsored deals. They should let them like do all that, because I don't think they can do that when they're. I don't think they can do like branding deals when they're like under contract.
Yeah, like it's weird that they would have like a calendar photo shoot and then not get like a chunk of that.
Yeah, they're selling their likenesses, and they're.
Do you think Netflix paid them to do this reality show?
Probably, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are like even. Do they like win anymore? They're just. I mean, I know they're the most like.
I'm the wrong person to ask.
I'm the wrong
about
person
that.
too, but like I think the cheerleaders are probably half the draw these days.
Maybe I don't think so.
I say that as
maybe for a gay who's not interested in whatsoever in football, definitely.
But they're part of the machine.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Charlotte really drives it home to them that it's like, you're lucky that we're letting you be here.
Deigning to let you work for us.
She's so evil.
She is evil.
She's fabulous.
She's a true supervillain. And her Shiv daughter is also...
Isn't she Shiv?
Yeah.
Did you see her looking through the window?
And like her looking through the window, and then the excitement and pleasure that she gets out of pulling a girl aside to tell her that she needs to go talk to someone in the back room because she's about to get fired was palpable.
Oh, yeah. She loved it.
They love it.
Because she grew up probably watching these cheerleaders and being like, I don't feel like I'm good enough. Like, I'm not them. My grandfather's kind of a perv, probably. And like, I want my grandfather to think I'm hot, you know, like that kind of thing.
As like,
right.
There's, I don't know, but I can't speak to the grandfather of it all, but would,
Jerry Jones.
Say that
I'm
as like a woman in like those positions, I can imagine it feels good to look down your nose at like smoking hot young women and be in control of them to some extent.
Yeah. I think.
And like be in control of their finances and their future, and like you have a sense of superiority.
I think Kelly and Judy, their dynamic is very interesting to me. Because they're almost like the Anna Wintour and Grace Coddington of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm.
Judy's like the creative visionary with the choreo and everything. And then Kelly's like the putting the whole package together. And they have sort of an interesting friendship. Like they're... I think they probably annoy each other.
Yeah.
But Judy really swallows a lot, I think. I think she really she's very contained.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she has to be. Because Kelly is sort of just like the warden. But
yeah, she's the HBIC.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
It's really a fascinating glimpse into like a completely female environment.
And like a whole environment that like one would think like wouldn't exist anymore because it feels so like antiquated in so many ways, but like very much is still like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, yeah.
Like these gals, this is the biggest honor of their lives, is to be Like there's no greater, like even watching the original shows, like girls would leave who were professional cheerleaders for other teams would leave and try out to be
a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. Yeah. It just is crazy, I guess. Don't you have, I guess, like, what are your options as a dancer, really? If dance is your truest passion.
Broadway?
There's Broadway, music videos. Rockettes, cheering.
I really wanted Victoria to stay in New York.
Yeah, she should be in New York. But there's just not a lot of options.
Did you get the whole Black Swan thing I was describing?
Definitely.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad you're watching.
Anyways, 10 out of 10 show. Brooke Mueller is being investigated for Matthew Perry's death.
There's like a group of people that are being questioned now, and she's one of them.
So people are thinking that these people gave him the ketamine that killed him?
Maybe. She just maybe knows, because she went to rehab with Perry a few times, apparently, and they were friends. But I don't know if they think she's involved, but she might know people that they're like looking into or something. She's just probably on that like West Side
addict group.
Mm-hmm.
The investigation is now nearing its conclusion.
Despite having
this is for people facing charges in relation to his death.
The reclusive star would have, according to sources, by the way, there's like a police raid happening above this.
I don't know if they can hear that.
The reclusive star would have younger hookups from the dating app Raya to deliver drugs to his house, even while he was under the 24/7 care of a nursing team. He would meet girls on dating apps and have them come over. There was a slew of 21 to 25-year-olds that he would meet on Raya. They would bring drugs with them. It was mostly OxyContin. He would also get a list of drugs from old girlfriends. There was a kind of network. Interesting.
I'm conflicted about, like...
Why is Brooke being...
trying to press charges for this, because...
Yeah.
I mean...
it's his choice, ultimately.
If you're, like, a embattled drug addict, the chance of you dying from drugs is incredibly high.
Yeah.
And, like... It's not someone else's fault that you got even kind of like a bad batch of drugs. Like if you're seeking out drugs over and over and like that's a choice.
Yeah.
You're assuming risk.
He's an incredibly wealthy, famous man who has tons of money to burn, and he used it to buy drugs over the course of many decades. Ultimately, it'll be a cumulative effect that will build up if you don't get healthy.
Yeah.
And his system was probably overextended as it is. So anything he was going to take, probably he was risking what happened to him. And I don't think you can say like a 21-year-old from Raya is at fault.
Or like other party friends. I mean, it's different, I guess, if you're selling drugs to minors and you're selling like fentanyl laced blow to minors, which is like a different issue. But
I mean, it's complicated. I think like drug dealers sometimes don't know that their stuff is cut up with bad things. But like if you're like knowingly selling people like fentanyl laced shit, like then maybe you should be held to some responsibility. But ultimately, even if it's an addiction, which is a disease, it's ultimately the addict's doing. You can't blame anyone else. I say this as an addict.
Yeah, I mean, it's like your choice at the end of the day.
I think people want...
Unless someone came to your house and shot you up against your will with ketamine and you died.
Yeah.
Like,
there's circumstances like forcing that, coercion, like that shit happens. But I think in most cases with addiction, like it's ultimately you're paying the money to put this in your body. Like it's your responsibility. And like I think people just, when something tragic like this happens, people want to blame someone they want someone to blame.
Yeah.
It's like they can't make sense.
Because he was on Friends.
Because he's Matthew Perry and like we grew up with him.
Mm-hmm.
But like fucking Michael Jackson had people coming over and shooting him up with anesthesia.
Yeah.
And like he did that enough that he died.
I mean, that is a little bit different because it's like a doctor doing that, and like a doctor shouldn't. So I understand pressing charges against that doctor because like you're breaking the Hippocratic Oath, and that's like you're committing a crime.
Yes, but with that situation, while that is true, at the same time, a doctor under the influence of like being sort of glamored by the most famous singer of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm not saying the doctor was right to do that. He was obviously like breaking his code of ethics, but I do think celebrity sort of clouds people. So I think it's like a two-way. I think celebrities use that to their advantage sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's murky.
It is murky. But ultimately, I stand with Brooke. I always have, and I always will.
Brooke.
She's my favorite crackhead of all the crackheads.
Is she like the scapegoat of Hollywood?
She's had a rough go of it. I just have always loved her ever since I watched The World According to Paris.
Why was she on that again?
She was friends with Kathy. Kathy took Brooke under her wing and was like trying to help her get sober, and Brooke was just like struggle city.
I was like, Kathy, you might want to turn that focus to your own sister.
There was an incredible quote that Charlie Sheen said when Brooke went to rehab. I think it was like recently or one of the last times. He said, Brooke is currently tucked away yet again for the billionth time seeking the help she needs, he said in a statement.
Damn, when Charlie Sheen is like, girl, get your shit together.
And he's like, here we go again, and eye rolling at your antics. You've really done it. I just love Brooke. I just like.
Listen, she's a lovable.
ride for her.
Yeah, I ride for her too.
She's a lovable crackhead.
She was a delisted staple for me. Like,
I know.
This delisted loved writing about her, and I always read about her in like college, and just was like,
I grew up with her.
Who's this glamorous?
We came up together.
In this tone.
I know. We've been at it for years in this town. And she's just struggling.
She's fighting for her goddamn life, and now she's being blamed for...
Leave her the fuck out of it. I'm like, even if she gave him ketamine, let her live. Like, leave her out of it. Just let Brooke have a win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A Brazilian... Whoa. A man dubbed the living Nostradamus warns the worst is yet to come, claiming the world is teetering on the edge of war that could be triggered by a small incident.
Great.
Athos Salome, he's 36, from Brazil.
Look at this Chad.
Is this even Chad?
Well, it's like, yeah.
This is gay.
But that Chad, like, chin, jaw
The
thing.
jaw, but then you go a lips and a cheeks, and then you're in... Gay, yeah. You're about.
He's a gay Chad.
You're in cross-dressing territory, even.
Mm-hmm.
Pillowy lips.
He added that Russia is strengthening its presence along the borders while NATO is stepping up in its support for Ukraine. I'm
here for like unexpected people talking like geopolitical.
Like a queen who looks like this.
Yeah, this is important to me. Russia strengthening its presence along the borders, NATO stepping up in its support for Ukraine. Meanwhile, North Korea's intercontinental ballistic missile tests are heightening U.S. and allied defenses and vigilance, he said.
This is interesting that he's talking about North Korea, because I just read that North Korea has been they sent over balloons to South Korea full of like feces and parasites, and they tried to shoot a ballistic missile or something and it failed, but they had to close the airport in Korea because North Korea
sent shit balloons
and like
I don't like that
shit filled with like parasites.
North Korea, I'm like, you guys are crazy. You're crazy.
I mean, that's
for such a tiny little territory.
That's that book I read, Nuclear War, that scenario book that in this book they imagine North Korea launching the nuke.
I don't put anything past them.
Salome stressed the importance of integrating AI into weaponry. Okay, let's... The arms race includes advancements in missiles and laser weapon system, often controlled by AI. We are approaching an era where technology plays a role in conflicts. No shit. The strategies are meticulously calculated based on the 13-month lunar calendar, ensuring that each move is executed at the ideal moment to maximize its impact.
Wow, this guy is like seemingly very knowledgeable. I love that. My vibe on him is like, I'm not reading all that. Congratulations, though, or I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's very that. Also, stay away from me.
I'm not stay away. I'm like, you can come around. Like, let's talk about it like one-on-one.
Okay.
Or tell me what your TikTok is. Like, I'm willing to engage, but I can't read.
Okay.
I'm a more like, I need you on a podcast or on like a short TikTok that I can watch at 2 speed. Oh yeah, there's an asteroid that's gonna skim that might come back around. Some people on TikTok were saying, I was in this algorithm like a month ago where some people were like, it's gonna loop around, and based on how it loops, it could come back and like hit us.
When?
I don't know.
Soon?
I forgot. And like, cause then I was on other TikToks that were like, there's no way. Like, that's just fear mongering.
Yeah.
So I let it go, and I said, call me when it's like on a direct path. Otherwise, I have shit to do.
I think this happens a lot.
Yeah. Many such rocks
There are close calls.
Oh, and then J-Lo flew Coach, which I think is a total psyop.
Yeah, she flew from like...
She flew a short, like,
Nice
puddle
to
jumper.
Paris or something.
Yeah.
But everyone was...
They're like, humble queen, sits in coach, not taking a private jet. I was like, literally, her team was like, you have to do one thing to, like, make people kind of like you and think that you're one of them. We're just going to book you. Like, she definitely screamed at someone for this, but they were like, we're going to book you on a 40-minute flight. And we are going to book you in coach. We're going to have your assistant take a video of you that looks like just another person boarding the flight. We're going to send it to all the outlets. And then people will think because you flew coach this one time that you're doing it.
Your Secret Service will be seated in the 2 rows behind you.
There's no way this wasn't completely 100% staged. Or... it was like the private jet broke, and so you just had to do this instead. Yeah,
like the poop water came out and like got into the carpet. And J-Lo was like, I'm not going in that. And they were like, well, you have to go in coach then.
She was like, fine, turn it into a moment.
Speaking of...
This isn't even coach, I don't think.
No,
I think this is first class.
Yeah.
The seats are leather. They're fine leather.
Let's get into it.
Let's talk about some divas in DC.
DC Divas. I'm Carrie.
I'm Laura.
And you're listening to Sexy Unique
Podcast.
Beltway
Bitches. We start out at Mary's house. Kat comes over for wine.
McLean. I love that Mary wears chokers.
She's a 90s queen.
Her house is elegant.
It's cozy mom house. She keeps a good house.
It's a house where I'd want to lay and eat like charcuterie with her.
I'd want to have a glass of wine and just lay in the living room. Like it's definitely has like a friend's house vibe where it's like I look forward to going over to that friend's house.
She kind of has like spaniel vibes. Or like she kind of has King Charles Cavalier vibes a little,
or golden retriever vibes.
Yeah, just like she's just very like there's something very regal about her.
Yeah, I agree.
Kat comes over and she goes, Mary sets her up with some hors d'oeuvres and white wine, and Kat comes, she goes, all quiet here, all the children have been banished from the house.
Mary goes, they're all doing their homework.
Not Lolly. Lolly's picking locks and stealing because
Lolly's committing grand theft.
I think Lolly's a klepto.
Well, now with the stealing of the closet, I'm like, okay, where were you the night of the big car thievery?
She's not beating the allegations.
Mm-mm. Mary and Kat lament over their struggles with beating themselves up over motherhood. And Mary confesses to Kat that she's had to put a biometric lock on her closet door because Lolly's always getting in there and stealing all her clothes, which would be incredibly frustrating.
It's a lot. It's moved past like it seems to be bordering like this is pathological behavior.
But then later on I'm like, you like that this happens because you're not taking the steps to actually prevent it. It's also just weird. Like, can't you just ask your mom to borrow a shirt?
Well, Mary had it. So Mary had Lolly at 20. Mm-hmm. And her mom, Mary's mom, had a daughter at the same time. So it was very like Father of the Bride Part 2. So her
that was wild.
Youngest sister is the same age as Lolly. So Mary was living at home with Rich and Lolly in her childhood bedroom when they started out, while her mom was also
raising her sister.
Was like tending to a newborn that she just. So it's a lot.
It's a lot. A 20-year age gap between siblings is wild.
Yeah, and just your aunt is your age.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend growing up who had an aunt in the grade above us.
I was always like wowed by those types of things. Mikhail calls Stacy about buying a home.
Yeah.
Which I was like, you realize you've alienated this person and now you have to rope them back in. So you're going to go about the ruse of buying real estate with them.
She gets a call, and as soon as she hears Mikhail, she goes, Stacy. And you just see Stacy go, fuck.
She goes, what are you looking for? What kind of home? And Mikhail goes, something bright, more modern, definitely, and bright. But come meet us. I'll be at the Four Seasons Suite.
She goes, I'm in the Royal Suite. She goes, the last time Tarek and I looked for a home, his mother filed a lawsuit against me.
She said, all our resources went to that.
I was like, Stacy, don't even entertain this.
No.
But she has to.
But she has to. Her job depends on it. And she's on the show. So she's like, well, maybe I will make a buck. Either way, it's good for her. So I get why she does it.
Linda has the dog trainer of the Obamas' German Shepherd, Bo.
That's chic.
Who is a woman named Dawn who looks and sounds like Kathleen Turner.
This was a coup on Linda's part. I said, you're a power player in the dog world.
Linda really needs a big dog at McLean.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like...
She simply can't move to McLean without a fighting dog.
Yeah, because she probably has enemies.
Oh, from the modeling world?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't even think of that, but...
She goes, the last time I lived in McLean, I had a break-in while we were all sleeping. I was like, then why would you fucking move there again? I'm sorry. I would never... If I lived in a place where I was robbed in the middle of the night while I was sleeping, I would never move back there.
I would move back, but I would beef up security immensely.
Because Ichiban is not the one.
No, Ichi is a true piglet.
He's 6 years old.
He is waddling around. I could watch an entire show with no dialogue. I could watch like a silent movie about Ichi.
Ichi goes up and pokes and is curious about the German Shepherd. And the German Shepherd is, for their credit, pretty chill, but swats him away a few times.
It's like not having it. And then Ichi just sits on his little butt.
So does the White House always have a German Shepherd?
I thought the dog, was not a German Shepherd.
Oh.
Or whoever, the Obamas didn't have a German Shepherd. Biden had a German Shepherd that was attacking people.
That like killed a man. What's the dog's name? Like Lieutenant or something?
I don't know, but
Sergeant.
He was like an evil German Shepherd.
Bo is like a sweet...
Bo is like a spaniel, I want to say.
Okay, yeah.
Let's say. Bo and Sunny.
Oh, look. They're
golden
doodles.
They're cute.
Oh,
I
Bo
like
died.
them. Oh, R.I.P. What a life. Oh.
Bo was sweet. Anyway, Dawn is very proud.
She should be.
She goes, it was a real honor to train Bo.
Who's Biden's dog? I love like when the Daily Mail.
Bo is like a sweetie, and I think Biden's dogs are like rancid killer German Shepherds.
I love when they picture him like baring his teeth. This is my favorite picture.
The Daily Mail hates. They're so slanted against.
I know.
Democrats.
It's an incredible publication. They'll do anything to make
Biden look bad.
Yeah, but that was one of my favorite. The dog is probably like yawning. Oh, he looks sweet.
He's just a little deranged.
But we don't even know that. Maybe he knows things that we don't.
Maybe he was attacked with Havana syndrome.
Maybe he's like a service animal who's protecting like demented Sleepy Joe. And so whenever people are like getting too close, he's like he knows when Sleepy Joe's sundowning. And so he bites to keep them, like he's trying to tell them something.
He'll be on stage at the...
He should be. I always side with the dogs, honestly.
Yeah.
Wow, not Geo. The Harvard Gazette wrote, is there a way to stop Biden's dog from biting everyone? Bookmarking that for later. I have a little reading to do later.
Stacy meets the Salahis.
They pick her up in their limo. Oh no!
Well, no. First, she goes over
to their Four Seasons
2-level penthouse.
This I feel like they snuck into when they saw housekeeping left. Like they waited for housekeeping to go around the corner, and then Tarek just stuck his foot in the door.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "We'll film here really quick," because it does not look like they're living there.
I think they maybe they put up money to like rent it for a few hours.
Or they're like housekeeping was coming to their room, so they were like, "We absolutely need another room. Like, please give us the royal suite for an hour."
Yeah.
This is like fake.
Stacy's impressed though.
Mm-hmm.
Stacy's funny. She like is sus of them, and then she gets like kind of glamored by that DC like razzmatazz. Business Stacy comes out. She breaks down everything, and she mentions like, well, you want to keep the farm, the cursed farm out in Virginia, but you want to have like a pied a terre in the city. And then she goes, so you might want to consider like a condo or something. And Tarek's like, yeah, I could do a condo. And then Mikhail goes, condo?
She goes, a condo?
And I went, watch it.
I thought of you. I was like, Carrie's going to be pissed at this condo shade.
She goes, I'd rather stay here at the Four Seasons than at a condo.
I was obsessed with her condo hate.
She hates condos.
She does not want to even set foot in a condo.
Stacy's like, well, so what's your ideal like size for a home? And he goes, preferably a house that can fit 250 guests regularly. Stacy goes, oh.
So a theater. She goes, okay, let's talk budget. Like, can you give me a sense of what your budget is, what your range? And Mikhail goes, that's the thing about us, it could be a $100,000 home or it could be $12 million. And Stacey's like, okay, but now I need a range. Like, that's not going to work. And then Tarek goes, we'll probably spend $8 million. $800,000? $8 on a cab ride?
What a swath of... It could be anywhere from $100,000 to $12 million.
And then being like, well, we'll probably spend $8. That's a lot for back then.
Also, the whole time Tarek's talking, you just hear Mikhail going, right.
Yes.
Yes.
So Stacey's like, okay, well, in order to even look at these homes, like to even set foot inside them as a prospective buyer, you have to prove you're worthy of the loan.
For Sotheby's. So
you need to send me like proof of income and like bank statements or whatever, and then we can go from there.
And I went, that's going to happen.
I was like, this is the end of the line.
Tarek goes, well, we're hoping the Oasis Vineyard will pay for it. And I was like,
You're hoping that your dead sticks will pay. You literally have a stick farm.
I know. Then we cut over to Casa de Cat, and she goes, when I woke up this morning, my phone went off at 5 a.m. this morning. I learned my dear friend Phil had taken his own life. Very sad. My daughters awoke to me screaming in the kitchen.
I think Phil was gay.
Yeah. I think it was her gay best friend.
Ugh, I'm so sad for her. So she's devastated. Phil took a turn for the worst. She calls Mary, and you just hear Mary going, "You're beautiful, you're strong, you're gorgeous," on the phone. "I love you. I'm here for you."
She goes, we all love you. You're beautiful, and you're strong, and you belong here. And Kat's like,
Okay,
thank you.
She goes, "Phil always called me the first lady." I was like, gay,
Yep.
gay. I love that. I
Yeah.
hate that for her. A gay Phil.
Killing himself.
Damn. Did he kill himself?
Yeah, he took his own life.
She said that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
I
catch
learned
that.
my dear friend Phil had taken his own life.
I thought that he was just sick
No,
then he died.
I think he...
Whoa, my brain said, nope,
He
you're
offed
not going to
himself.
get that. Oh,
I know.
God.
It's sad.
Cat.
I wonder who he was in London.
Are you Googling gay Phil London suicide?
Mm-hmm.
RHODC cat friend Phil dead suicide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You found him?
No, but I'm not... I wrote that down. I'm not making that up.
No, I don't think so. I thought you were trying to find him.
Yeah.
Few people know that Carrie is the ultimate sleuth.
I am.
If anyone can find gay dead Phil, it's you.
Well, I'll find him, but
You're
he
gonna look into
definitely
this.
she definitely said that he took his own life,
Wow.
which is very fucked up. But
All right.
so then we go over to Linda's new house.
Her sprawling estate.
It's
huge.
I'm afraid of this house. Something is really not right here. I feel very unsettled by the size of it, the unnecessary size of this house. Like, why are you with many adult children choosing to live in a manor?
I think it's a real estate investment.
Okay.
I love my house, but it needs lots of work, and that's where astrology is of value.
So Mary and some woman come over,
And they
Linda,
like burn sage.
She goes, "I'm gonna sage the fridge so I don't eat anything." I was
Okay.
like, me.
She's saging, complaining about how ugly the house is. I think it's just like when you have a lot of money and you get a little bored, it becomes fun to just buy a house and gut it, and then your job becomes like making your beautiful house.
I just was like, this is a choice to be making during this time.
Well, maybe interest rates were low.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
true.
maybe she got a great deal.
The Salahis pick Stacy up in their white limo of horror,
With their one sticker on it.
and they cruise through Spring Valley, which is Stacy keeps telling them is where a lot of politicians live.
So this is the closest they can get at the moment to going to actually tour houses, because Tarek still hasn't sent Stacy
Yeah.
any sort of proof of life.
So Mikhail points to a house that literally looks like the French embassy, and she goes, "Look at that one. I want that one." And Stacy quietly goes, "Well, that house isn't for sale, so we should maybe not consider it."
Mikhail's whole thing is just pointing at houses she knows aren't for sale and saying she wants those.
She goes, "Ooh, I like that one.
How much is that one?
How much is that one?"
And Stacey's like, that's $20 million. So like your budget is 8, and that's just not going to work.
Then they kind of, let Stacy in on some of the like drama with going down with Tarek's mom, who keeps suing them. She sued Mikhail.
Tarek's mom hates Mikhail. Seems to hate Tarek too.
Tarek definitely like has considered hiring a hit out on his mom.
He's a true fail son. No?
Yeah. But you can see like the way he stares off when he talks about her. Like, I really feel like he's fantasized about killing her.
I could see that.
Richard Lawson, who's the Vanity Fair movie critic, but when he was an iconic Gawker writer.
He did DC
He
recaps.
did DC, and I was reminded of this because I said he reminds me of Norman Bates, and why I said that is because Richard had this whole like fanfic about him and his mom being like Mrs. Bates and Norman Bates.
His recaps of
Housewives,
Gossip Girl,
Gallery Girls,
were
NYC
the
Prep.
blueprint. Yeah.
No
one did it like him.
No, Richard, I'm friends with him. Like I became friends with him, but before we became friends, like he was my idol. He like influenced a whole generation of gay
I know.
internet writers.
He truly
He was that bitch.
Is that bitch, but in that era he showed me what's possible with fan fiction.
No, for real. I wrote him an email when I was in college, like trying to riff with him. And then when we became friends, I quietly confessed to him that I emailed him, and he goes, "Did I write back to you?" And I went, "No." But yeah, I don't know if they're still up, but his DC recaps were haunting.
Okay, I need to revisit those. I'm going to revisit them after we finish recapping because I don't want to be influenced, but I'm like sort of remembering.
But Tarek definitely has like weird mommy issues, and I think Corinne.
Yeah.
I found Corinne's obituary.
She seemed chill. What was her deal? I thought I found it too.
She was born in like Belgium.
She's Belge.
She's Flemish.
What else? What else is notable about Corinne?
They had I think he was her only child.
The feminine urge to turn on your only child.
The feminine urge to hate your only child who happens to be a male's wife because you feel like no one's good enough for him.
Yeah, or like you're sad that you can't be a mommy and the girlfriend.
Yeah. I think there's a little like, what is that? Opidal.
The Oasis winery of it all is really strange because he had 5% ownership of it and she wanted full ownership. But I don't understand his mindset of like fighting for something that would cost so much money to overhaul and fix after it's been left in ruins for so long.
Yeah.
Unless he's trying to like, he thinks that he can like get, or he's waiting for her to die so he gets full ownership and then he can like get investors to help him zhuzh the place and get it back up and running.
Yeah, it's all very weird, and Stacey's clearly like very uncomfortable.
It's also just like, I understand the urge to get litigious with your family, but at the same time, if it's a situation like that, I'm like, walk the fuck away. Like, life is too short.
No, but
you can figure out a whole different plan.
If you grew up like, he probably grew up spoiled and like didn't really have to do anything. If you grew up not really knowing how to do anything and your whole life is like, one day I'll own this vineyard, and then you come to the age where you're like, I deserve to be owning this vineyard, you're going to fight for it.
You're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. The thought of spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on an endless legal battle stresses me the fuck out.
Well, I think they think their social currency is like wine.
But it's just sticks.
No, I know, but they think that they can like...
They think that that's like their ticket. Yeah. But that's like such a...
No, it's
a myth.
Delusional.
It's totally delusional. You're so much better served to just like take the L and create a new myth for yourself.
Yeah, like Hunter Biden with his paintings.
Exactly.
Mary walks into the den and sees Rich watching sports. And they're heading towards schism. She goes, "Hi, hon, how was your meeting?" Meeting? And Rich goes, "It was good. Good guys." And I go, "What meeting?
I love
What
that.
does he do for a job?"
Unclear. I like that no one ever explained what he does for a job either.
Is he in the CIA?
Maybe. So Mary is upset because Lolly got into her closet again.
Lolly's fucked up.
Okay, I honestly, in this moment, I had no choice but to side with Rich. He's over it. He says, you put this lock on there. You didn't close the door. And she goes, no, I forgot to close the door.
She likes this little cat and mouse game.
This is a game that they play. And I would also.
Oh, no,
I would be like, back off. Like, I'm watching fucking America's Sweethearts. Like, please don't.
No, I think she's a broken record, but I do think at this point, like, Lolly.
It's crazy.
Lolly's off. She's a little off.
Unless you're like, yeah, I mean, we see it soon, but I'm like, does Mary want Rich to tell Lolly that she can't take the clothes? Like, I'm not understanding what the point is of this conversation.
I think it's like
this is like when your marriage is failing, you start to just tell your significant other things that you know they don't care about because you're just hoping and praying that they'll give a shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, just close the fucking door.
Yeah.
And go get like a facial or something.
He basically goes, no, are you done? Because I want to watch my game. And Mary just goes, I go, they hate each other's asses.
Mary should definitely get the cleaning lady to come 5 days a week so that she can focus on building up hobbies outside of drinking wine and forgetting to close her closet door.
Mary should have that Resident Evil like laser net thing that like turns you into like pieces of pizza when it goes through you. Like,
she should set up
Lolly
like a booby trap.
Yeah, Lolly should have to like thwart like laser nets.
It should have like a tranquilizer,
yeah,
like dart shot into Lolly's neck so she passes out on the floor of the closet and Mary can photograph her and say this is what happened, and it will happen every time.
Lolly activates my fight or flight. I think she's spooky.
Lolly spooked me. I can't remember this episode or the next one, but she spooked me and left a bad taste in my mouth.
As someone who lived at home with my parents after college,
who also wanted to pursue a career in the arts.
Yeah, but the only thing I was stealing was wine.
Mary wouldn't have liked that.
No, definitely not.
No.
Jason brings up Stacy's birth mother while they're sitting around.
And the birth mother has Stacy's biological father's name and contact info because she still talks to him.
But she refuses. She said absolutely no.
This is bizarre.
I don't know what's going on.
Me neither.
She's
I hate this broad.
Yeah, she's refusing. She's like, the answer for now and forever is no. You will never know him.
But I'm going to call him later.
But I'm going to call him and talk with him
and
about
pretend that I and keep up the false pretense that I don't have like a 35-year-old daughter who's with you. That's crazy.
I'm really confused. That twist that they still talk, I thought it was like she just wanted to forget about it.
Yeah, I thought she like never knew like his name that much, or I thought that it was like I got a totally different impression, and then when I found out that they're still in contact, I was like, this bitch is fucking psychotic.
Like, what is the deal? Is he like a...
Maybe she's trying to keep him, like, it's like keep your friends close and your enemies closer. She's trying to keep him around so that, like, she knows that he won't tell her family about their affair or something.
Maybe. I don't know what the deal is. But so
well, her house of cards is about to come tumbling down because Jason is going in for the fucking kill.
Jason's, like, seeing red, and he's like, I'm about to message your brother, your biological half-brother, on Facebook and be like, I'm your sister's husband and we want to know who the fuck her dad is, and blow up his spot.
I'm obsessed with Jason's desire to get messy on Facebook. I
would do that.
He's ready. I'm here for that drama.
I'm so confused. Like, is there a secret about is there something about the father that she doesn't want?
I think it's because he's black. Because she's like a white lady with a white family. And then she had a child who was black with a black man. And I mean, that's what it sounds like from what they've described.
She's just like racist.
Yeah. And she just doesn't want anyone to know.
Well, it's really, yeah.
Sorry, doll. Not in this day and age. Your son's about to get a fucking Facebook message that's going to blow his goddamn mind.
Fuck you all.
Also, you could have just avoided this and told Stacy the dad's fucking info. Like, what?
Stacy's literally like, I never want to talk to you for as long as I goddamn live.
This lady, the birth mom's stress levels must be off the charts.
Yeah.
I need a movie about...
Good.
This would be like a really good psychological thriller.
Yeah.
About a woman whose entire life is about to be torn to shreds due to decisions of her that she made with her own volition.
Her bizarre decisions.
It's a real series of crazy decisions and ways of handling something that were wildly ineffective and made a situation that she viewed as bad a million times worse.
For real, it's like Instagram might not be around yet, but we're in the Facebook age.
Girl,
Doll.
It is
you can't,
over
you can't
for
keep
you.
secrets anymore in the Facebook era.
No, not in the Facebook
You can't have secret families anymore.
Absolutely not.
You're
not in the 23andMe era.
You're going down, bitch.
She doesn't even know that 23andMe is about to pop off.
She is done for.
How many kids do you think this fucking slut has?
All over the country. All over the world.
Amount of stress that you must feel where not only are you hiding a former child's identity from your current family, you're also hiding it from their biological father.
Oh, it's bad.
You're going to get cancer. You're going to stress yourself the fuck out so bad.
Shingles.
You're going to shing.
So we head on over to Linda. She's getting ready for a gala. And she's in her closet and she calls over her assistant.
I thought when Linda was describing the gala, it's Men Against Breast Cancer, but I heard Mennigan's breast cancer and I was like, what is Mennigan's breast cancer? That's a type of cancer I haven't even heard of.
The Mennigan strain. She has her assistant / daughter-in-law, quasi-daughter-in-law come over and tighten her shoes. And I was like, this is...
And the daughter is not, the assistant doesn't get to come to the gala, but her sons do.
Imagine dating someone and having to tighten her mother's
bustier,
peep toe stiletto
to adjust her sling back
and
flounce her dress.
Yeah, that was dark.
Yeah. Linda put on a big men's fashion show at the Mennigan's breast cancer event.
The men are hot.
Yeah, Mary thinks so.
Mary is at the table. She's getting up. Woo!
She's shit tanked.
She stands up and claps. It's giving a little posh fashion show, but just with men.
She goes,
yes. Cat's there.
Women are catcalling the men. The male models are just getting groped left and right.
And then Paul Wharton comes out.
I love him. I love his feathered hair.
But all the women start like laughing. I was like, fuck you all.
God damn it.
Fuck you.
I think it would be hard to be a DC gay. I think Paul has had...
Well, we hear about it.
I know.
So Kat is there and she goes...
Well, Lolly is wearing Mary's clothes again.
Oh, I loved Mary's
Mary
face.
looks across the room and Lolly's like wearing a shirt and Mary goes...
Yeah, she's like... She's going like... Mm-mm. I think it's weird. Lolly takes off her coat and reveals that she's wearing a married...
Lolly's like single white femaling her own mother.
Lolly's fucked up. This is like a hunter showing off their prey, like to doms. Like she's doming Mary in this moment, and I'm like, this is deep-seated, bizarre mommy-daughter issues.
Also, like, Kat is clocking that too. Kat's like had enough of Mary's boundaryless existence with Lolly.
Well, Kat did say I'm very strict with my daughters, and I hope one day they thank me for it.
Mm-hmm. Because she's basically a single mom.
Kat goes, I'm the queen of putting on a good face when inside I'm hurting. She's upset about Phil.
She is in a state of utter devastation, so much so that a man named Christopher comes up to her and introduces himself. And she goes, my God, you're wearing a cravat and a pinstripe suit. That's exactly what my friend Phil would wear.
He just took his own life. And the guy literally goes, whoa.
And Kat starts bawling,
she
hugging him, clutching him.
Linda's going. And she goes, like, you're like a spirit or an angel who came to see me at the table. She saw it as a sign from Phil.
It was a sign from Phil.
It was.
Christopher doesn't know what to say, and he goes, life continues. It never stops. And I was like, It actually does. In Phil's case, it 100% life stopped.
Yeah, that's the whole
not
point
true.
of why she's crying.
That's death.
Go away.
Life does not continue.
Yeah.
It stops, and people are sad. But I love that you tried.
Linda at the dinner table with her kids later. How many fucking kids does this woman have?
I don't know. Every time I think I have the number, a new one pops up.
She has like a young son who's like 15. She has a grown daughter who's 24. She has a son who's like 22. And I think she has another kid.
That's like 18.
Yeah. She's all about pro legalizing weed because I think she partakes in the ganj.
Linda's just taking bong rips every day.
We cut to Kat talking to her daughter. Her daughter comes home from school and she goes, "Mummy, I got an A+ on the math test. It was 120 questions. It was 2 hours long." And she goes, "Oh, darling, that's wonderful." And she goes, "I've made a decision to not go to the funeral." And her daughter's literally like...
Her daughter's like, 2 hours and it took a long time, but I did it. And Kat goes, "Anyways, I cried last night in public."
She goes, I've decided after long thinking, I've made a decision to not go back for the funeral, for Phil's funeral.
She goes, "What good would I be there? I'd just be crying all the time." So I thought, why not go? Don't want to leave you alone. So anyways, that's what I've decided. What do you think about that?
She goes, "Did you hear me crying last night when I came home?" She goes, "I was crying all through the night. Have you ever heard a grown woman cry?" She goes, "It doesn't sound the way you always think it sounds. It's lower than you always think."
It's a lower register. It's more of a wail. It's more of a doleful wail. Did you hear that? Like, did you think it was a ghost? It wasn't a ghost. It was Mummy.
It was Mummy. It was
in
me.
pain, in the worst pain that Mummy's ever felt in her life.
Her daughter's literally like, yeah.
Her daughter would rather go back to school and take another 2-hour math test than hear about Mummy's funeral plans.
Anyway, I cried in public last night.
I cried in public. Good God.
Every child, there's a swath of children where every so often when you're a child, your mom just unloads on you in a way that is like a little boundaryless and you become their confidant for a moment.
I have to give it up to my mom. She did not unload in that way on me.
My mom didn't. There was like maybe 1 or 2 times, but that's maybe... I think maybe it's common when there's a gay son present. But my mom was pretty... kept the lid on, but once in a while.
I think in adulthood, it's like more common once you reach adulthood and it's like you're on the same playing field, so to speak.
Anyway, I cried in public today.
Anyways, I just made a decision. I'm not going to go to the funeral.
What good would I be there?
You're like, Mom.
So Mary and Rich have Jason and Stacy over for really good dinner. And Mary goes, "The way Jason Turner took the role of the gentleman at the vineyard to protect me from Tarek, I cannot thank him enough."
She's like, "I just have to say thank you here and now. Cheers. We can cheers to that." She's
basically like, "Rich, you're a pussy."
She's cucking her husband.
So they start talking about Tarek and Mikhail, and Stacy's like, they want to find a house, but they're not very clear on their financial stuff with me. And Mary's basically just like, "Don't even try with these people." She goes, "I knew people." She goes, "I knew people that grew up with Tarek in DC.
And there's a reason he went to military school." I
was like, "Say more."
Yeah, we need to know a lot more.
He gives me a little school shooter vibe.
He is. He's like a little school shooter porky pig.
There's a reason. She goes, "There's a reason he went to military." She said it again. She goes, "Mikhail did my makeup in the 90s. I'm like, "We know."
We know at Nordstrom for Trish McAvoy, we are 100% in the know.
She goes, "I think Mikhail at her core means well, but she is sort of in a place that she can't control when it comes to Tarek." And then Stacy goes, "You don't think Mikhail is happy?" And then Mary goes, "No!" It's giving that Elizabeth Taylor clip when they're interviewing her and they go, "Are you going to get married again?" And she goes, "Married? No!" That's Mary right now.
No! So I do think Mary's onto something there.
Oh, for sure.
Then the Salahis go to their stick farm.
They arrive.
And they talk about a bunch of bullshit there. They talk sticks.
Mikhail's like, Tarek's dad, he's my buddy. He calls me his light. I'm like, so Tarek's dad wants to fuck you, and Corinne is jealous of you.
And Corinne just hates her ass, has hated her from the fucking jump, and is just trying to make their life a living hell.
I will say it was a little refreshing to hear them be a little candid about the disarray of the farm, and that they're openly admitting that it's like a piece of shit and it's out of commission. And right as they're opening the vault with Oasis Farmgate, you hear woo, woo, the police sirens are on the way.
The sheriff's office shows up.
This seems like an everyday occurrence.
They are getting the cops called on them constantly. Also, I'm like, the police have nothing better to do than to show up at the sticks.
I think out in there, it's
not as like,
it's not like DC
happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, the sheriff comes and like questions Tarek, and then Mikhail just like kind of cries in a turtleneck.
This made me feel really bad for her.
I'm in this for better or worse.
She goes,
but I think she's fucking the guy from Journey while all this is happening.
She goes, it's affected my life and my health.
I think she's talking about her MS. She's in a place of shingles.
And you hear Tarek talking to the sheriffs, and he goes, my mother's very jealous of me. It's like, the sheriff's
this family is
like,
crazy.
I think they're technically trespassing when they come.
But no, because their lawsuit got settled.
Oh.
So I think the judge ruled in favor of them, I want to say.
So I'm wrong. But
I think like
Corinne is nothing better. She's a woman with lots of money and resources on her hand, and she's old as fuck, and she has nothing better than to call the police.
She's like,
on her
I'll
husband.
just fuck with you every time you want to go on this property.
Like,
and hope that like that's the only thing I can do.
It's like she made a promise to him when they were having an argument once. Like, every time you and that wretch of a woman step onto my vineyard, I'm gonna call the police. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'll see it when I believe it. And now she's like, you want to bet, bitch?
Yeah, she probably has cameras up, and she's just like, they get tripped, or like a wire gets tripped every time, and she's like, well, time to call the police on my good for nothing son.
Or there's a mole. Anyway, a sad state of affairs, but a great episode nonetheless.
Okay, I'm on the Wikipedia page for the Oasis Winery, because we have got to get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
In 1977, Salahi's father, Durgam, planted Chardonnay, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Merlot vines at Oasis Vineyard, establishing the 5th winery in Virginia. Salahi's 1999 champagne was named the top 10 best champagne and sparkling wines in the world by Wine Enthusiast magazine. According to court papers, Salahi also began operating a new business on the same premises as his father's Oasis Vineyard called Oasis Enterprises. Oasis Enterprises included a wine tourism operation, wine country tours, and an events and catering business. A dispute arose between Salahi and his family regarding business matters between Oasis Vineyard and Oasis Enterprises. Okay. A lawsuit was filed in which the ill mother of the Salahi family alleged, according to court filings, that assets were misdirected to Oasis Enterprises from the winery to support tourism initiatives. Salahi fought the charges and made counter allegations against his parents and their lawyer. He began to seek investors to buy the property from his parents, but no deal was ever reached. The winery temporarily ceased operations. The lawsuit was dropped without resolution.
Wow.
Oasis Vineyard filed for bankruptcy protection in 2008, with its winery assets auctioned in late 2011.
Damn.
Oasis Enterprises filed for bankruptcy in 2009. Durham Salahi died on October 6, 2010. Damn. Oh, in mid-2011, Salahi's wife, Mikhail Salahi, was sued by 2 different parties for fraudulently taking payment for wine tours that were never delivered. On April 23rd, 2012, Attorney General of Virginia filed a suit against McHale for violating the Virginia Consumer Protection Act for failing to conduct tours that were purchased, failing to provide refunds for canceled tours, and other companies as official partners that had relationships with their business.
Whoa.
Wow.
So McHale is a little shyster too.
Yeah. In May 2013, the land and building of the former Oasis Winery was sold at auction for $1.1 million in order to satisfy creditors, marking the end of the Salahi family involvement with Oasis Winery.
Damn.
Salahi's mother, Corinne, was the sole beneficial owner of the property at time of sale.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Succession
sticks.
Successions.
Dead twigs. Leaves.
Rotten grapes.
Rotten leaves.
Damn. Well,
wow.
If we had more time in DC, I'd say let's
head on over
rent
to
a
Oasis.
zip car and head on out to.
Yeah. Let's get in a Waymo and say to Oasis, robot. But unfortunately,
we don't have the time.
I might have the time.
Yeah,
we'll see.
You got a sleuth.
Yeah, I got some time.
Let's shout out our Oasis, aka the cult.
Hillary with 2 L's.
Hillary.
Pia from Australia.
Pia.
Alex Delisle.
Alex Delisle, Queen.
Makeup Fresh.
Makeup Fresh.
Obviously.
Sophie from Cleveland.
Emily Vaughn. Castor Jorgensen. Mr. Ryan, Miss Ryan, and Mr. Jillian, also from Cleveland. Gina Sapienza. Sarah Elizabeth from Boston. Lucy from London. Brooke Johansson. Lilia Farrell. Rachel Knight. Gerd Queen of Brooklyn. Brittany Date Night Weiss. Daly McMillie. Bridget Wazowski. Lady Swampwitch Gives No Fucks. Jessica Hernandez. Malzatov Laws. Mary. Katie Sulin. Mike Earhart. Sharon Baum.
Realtor.
Timothy Shield. Rogue Stanley. Matthew Thomas. Owsley Robinson. Cheeseburger Bay. Mariah Kay. Kathy West. Kit Moore. Hillary from Chicago. Orlando. Patron of the Farts. David from Switzerland. Nick Sedaris. Emily. Kim Lucas. Jenny from Minneapolis. Katie the Supployer. RJ. Jeffrey Pradama.
Love and light to you all.
Love and light. Goodbye.